I bring the heat. I hope I do the best I can because
if you're going to be successful, intensity, it's a mentality that has to be developed. There's always an opportunity to do something about it. Winners win and losers lose. It's that simple. Ignite the flame for success, and you can taste the victory.
I'm sitting today with a successful businessman, a successful father, and now a successful author, Louie Herron, with Louie Herron, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram here in Madison, Georgia, and your brand new book, Driven by Fire. Congratulations, first of all.
Yeah, thank you.
On a fantastic
That's
book.
awesome.
We started out on the team you're going to own in 15 years? 25
65,
years.
That's right, 65.
At 65, he's going to own the Miami Dolphins, and that's one of the goals that you've set. And we say it with a straight face because you say set the big goals and go for them, because if you don't, you're not going to ever have any chance of achieving it. Let's just talk about it. It's called Driven by Fire. Ignite the flames of success through faith, intensity, reinvention, and enthusiasm. A couple things before you say what you're going to say. Thank you for making the words a little bit bigger for people like me.
Right.
Okay, it was
Makes
nice.
it an easy read.
You can read it. I'm not a reader. I read the book in 2 days. I loved it, and it's not just because I know Louie Herron. I know Louie Herron, but now I really know Louie Herron.
Right.
It's a fantastic book. Let's get into it just a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to say about the book, but the main premise of the book, the quick elevator pitch, if you want to know it, is basically, I'm a firm believer in life that we're all going to experience some setbacks, some struggles, some failures. That could be marital struggles, that could be career struggles, financial struggles, that could be spiritual struggles, that could be can't get out of the pantry, health struggles. I mean, we've all got these things that we were talking earlier, how I could be so well focused and laser being down, what I want to do in this capacity in my life, but this over here is completely a wreck. It's a wreck. And so how do you juggle and balance those things? And more importantly, how do you hit those what we call circumstances that I refer to in the book, or the circumstances or gifts, by God, that are disguised in the terminology of circumstance. They're really just gifts. You can have the most horrific thing happen to you, and you're never going to understand why. The question is not necessarily why, the question should be what. And the question of what is what, God, are you trying to show me through this process? Because we can ask why to a blue in the face.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, God gives us, way more questions than He'll ever give us answers, right? I mean, so when you're in that state of something going wrong, something going right, or more importantly, something hit you and you had no idea it was coming. In fact, you thought you were going this way at full speed and things were looking good, and then here's the train wreck. Yeah. So the key is
and that happened to you.
Oh, numerous times.
Multiple times.
Yeah, and so what I like about the book for the reader, more specifically, is if you're a person of faith or not, it doesn't matter, the book's still for you. But if you are someone of faith, you'll relate and understand with this. When something bad happens, what do they tell you? Pray. Trust God, right? Yeah. I believe in that, okay? However, I also relate and say in the book that Noah didn't build the ark from the couch. Yeah. You can have the directive from the Lord. He can tell you what, trust in Him, but you gotta take some action. Yeah. So what I love about the book, of course, I put it together, so I feel like I love about the book, that's helped me in so many circumstances that weren't so pleasant, is what do you physically do in addition to trust God and pray? Right. Like you have to physically do something. Well, you can't lose your job and stay at home and pray on the couch and hope you're going to get one. You got to go get a job, right? You got to go take some action.
He'll give you the tools and the abilities, but you've got to get up and you've got to get going. And you talk about one thing in this book, work. Your dad really instilled that in you. You were telling me a story about how he'd come in on a Saturday morning. He's off to work at 4:45. He takes the covers off, turns the lights on, and says, "Get up, boy, and do something today." And that had a lasting effect on you.
Yeah, I go back in the book. I kind of explain, from kind of growing up in Miami, Florida, boom, all the way to how I got to own a car dealership when I,
at 35 years old.
35 years old.
First car dealership.
And part of that is just understanding kind of the work ethic of what I saw my dad do. And look, every parent has their flaws. Every parent has their good things. One of the things that I could always say, looking back, I didn't understand it then, and that's the whole thing of having understanding. And I refer to that in the book. Of you can't connect the dots when you're in it. It's only looking back, right? Like
you don't know what you don't know.
That's right. So when I look back at some of those situations growing up, I look back at some of those situations in high school. I look back in college. I look back when I dropped out of college, when I couldn't make it in the NFL, when I was loading trucks at a distribution plant. I look back and you scratch your head when you're in it. I don't understand what it's about. But now I understand clearly what it was about. And so I think the book is anybody who started in 2017, this video may run after 2017. It's a new year, it's the middle of the year, it's the end of the year, doesn't matter. It's a great time to get kind of fired up and kind of get going. Now, specifically to the book, Fire, right,
Yep.
is faith, intensity. The R is reinvention, enthusiasm. So what does that mean? It means you got to have a lot of faith in yourself and faith in the Lord,
Yeah.
right? And you got to have a sick work ethic. If you're going to really be successful and push through anything, you got to have serious intensity. I mean, you got to have a sense of urgency. I talk about that at length. And then reinvention. Sometimes, you know, like I've experienced, I've rested on my laurels, man. I've owned a dealership. You get complacent, guess what?
Yeah.
You get money frauded from you, embezzled from you, and stolen from you. It's happened to me. You can't make this stuff
Yeah.
up. So, and the last thing is enthusiasm, and that's a really code word for attitude, overused as we know. But if you look at the word enthusiasm, and I refer to this in the book, at the end of the word enthusiasm it's IASM, right? I am sold myself.
That's
the word
right.
enthusiasm, people that are enthusiastic are sold themselves rather. So to me, that's kind of a. It wasn't a 30-second elevator pitch,
No,
but it's a
but
little
it's good.
longer. But
It's good.
look, the content that's in the book, there's a lot of content, right?
Right.
You read the book. There's a lot of meat in there that you can grow from.
It's good. It's good stuff, and there's a lot of lessons that Louie has learned. What's great about this book, there's a lot of self-help books out there. There's a lot of motivational books out there. This book comes from Louie's perspective. These are things that Louie has lived.
Oh, yeah.
You've lived the book, and he's applied it to his life, and you've developed a lot of processes that have worked for you, have made you a successful business person that you can apply to your life as well. You may not do everything in the book, but if you take a little bit from it, the book helped remind me to goal set. So I set goals of when I want to pay some things off in my life.
Right.
I've set some goals of some relationships that I want to improve. There's been some goals that I've just didn't really think about lately. The book kind of brought me back to that. I took a couple of notes. One thing that you say is ask the Lord to strengthen your back, not lighten your load. That's from James 1:2.
That's right.
And that was strong. I actually went and read that in a few different versions. And so that's from the Bible, which is your favorite book. But also your dad said a fantastic quote as well. Sleeping in was not allowed, as Dad always said that sleep was for broke people.
Oh yeah.
This book, Louie,
Yeah.
all in this book, Louie talks about you got to work for what you want.
Yeah.
Louie thought he was going to be a professional football player. Louie never thought he'd be in the car business.
far
He's
from
in
it.
the car business after his buddy
Yeah.
asked him a number of times to go to work at Chili's with him. And you're working at Lowe's, and you're like, I'm not going to spoil the book, but you know, you're working at Lowe's, your buddy's like, come work at Chili's. You end up working at both places. You met a guy. He offered you, he said, come see me, come see me, come see me. He worked in the car business. You were like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Louie went, he saw the guy. Then you went in for your interview. The guy was like, okay, well, nice interview, but we're really not hiring right now. And you're like, oh, my
crazy
goodness.
story.
So one thing after
Don't give the whole
another,
book. That's a good story in the book.
It's a great story, but you have to read all about it because it's a lot more than just that information. But one story after another, you know, you have not reached all of your goals as well that you wanted to reach. You wrote a lot of goals down and you haven't reached all your goals, and then you get up and you try again the next day.
But let me
and then
say
you
this too.
reset your
Let me say this too. If you're still watching this video, which I hope you are, look. When I gave this book to the editor, it was 243 pages. This book's 120 pages.
Easy read.
Okay, you can knock this out literally. It'd probably take you 3 hours if you're a slow reader like me. So you can read it in a week. Just pick a morning and just knock out an hour. But here's what I want to tell you. The average person reads a book a year, and the person that reads a book a year never completes the book. I get it. I understand it. Okay, I'll get you the audio version. I'll put it on Audible soon. But in the meantime, here's what I'll tell you. Read this book because my promise to you is I guarantee you this. There will be at least one or two things. I don't care if you read a lot. Joel Osteen, John Maxwell, Eric Thomas, Grant Cardone. I mean, great. I watch all those guys and read all their stuff. If you are someone who loves that kind of material, there'll be one or two things guaranteed, promised you've never heard in your life. One or two things you'll go, man, light bulb. I like that. And if you're like me, if I'm listening to a speaker or if I'm reading a book or I'm watching something on YouTube, I'm starving to get better. I want to get better. This is something I'm not gonna make a whole bunch of money on books. I can tell you that. But what I do want to do is I want to get this in the hands of everybody. When I talk to kids, you know, because you film it. Look, we give these 200-300 books. Why? I want the kids to get. I want them to realize that
you didn't write this to make money. Let's just make that clear. We didn't write it to. I mean, he's not going to make any money off a $10 book, but he wants to help people. He's sincere about helping people. And if you're a business person, listen, I've been in business for longer than you've been in business, Louie. I was doing business when you were graduating high school, and I've learned a lot from this book as well, and it reminded me a lot. And that's being very sincere. How do I get a hold of your book?
Okay, so we got a couple of ways. You can Amazon it, you can iTunes it, you can Barnes & Noble, all via the web if you like to, or you can go to the website, which we have it hopefully posted during the whole length of the video, just drivenbyfire.com. That's through PayPal. That'll get you a hard copy of the book. So if you like someone, you want to tangibly hold something, and it's not soft cover, it's nice quality.
It's a nice
book, okay? So you can get that's $20. All right, or you can go online, and it's a Kindle version. As at this point, maybe when you watch this video a month from now, I will have the soft cover and hardcover available on Amazon and those sources. But right now it's $10 on iTunes, $10 on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or $20 for the hard copy book. So
it's worth it.
Yeah, you want to check it out. I'm excited. I think it's pretty cool. But really, the content within the book I think is really good. And the reason why is because I know how hard life is. You know how hard life is. I know when things are going great and you get slapped in the face, didn't expect it. And I know that most people give up, and that's the thing that I encourage everybody. Look, like I was telling you, take a break, stop, take a rest, but don't ever stop. I don't care how tough it gets in the marriage. I don't care how tough it gets, in your business, selling for somebody. Don't quit. And this book, I think, will inspire you to continue to keep pressing forward.
One last thing you know about Louie is he tells you a lot about his life. This isn't a guy who was just given everything. Louie worked really hard for everything he has. He's had a lot of failures in his life as well, brushed himself off, and he keeps going. So he speaks from life experience. And I'm sold on the book. I loved it. It was a fantastic read. You're going to love it too. So make sure to get your copy today. Or just come on. Listen,
come to the dealership.
Come to Madison, Georgia, even if you live in New York, and visit with Louie, and you'll get a lot out of that as well. It's Louie Herron. He's with Louie Herron Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Madison, Georgia. And now he's the author of Driven by Fire.